Stephanie White dropped a nuke, a whiny, sniveling, bratty, I'm the victim nuke before last night's game and just made everything that's been going on with the Indiana Fever 1,000 times worse. This is one of the worst speeches, press conferences, statements, whatever you want to call it. It is one of the absolute worst things I have ever heard from a professional coach. Hell, I'll even go into college. I'll probably, if I thought about it long enough, in a lot of high school coaches I'd know that were under fire at big programs as well, I would include them. And she had to refer to a piece of paper. I don't know what exactly she thought she had prepared for this, or who thought it was a good idea, or who else looked at it. Wow. All right, we got to get into this. Yeah, we got to talk Stephanie White again. It's just the way it is right now. That's the way things are going. So let's just dig right in. This is nuts.
No, I'm going to start today. This isn't necessarily for those people that are in this room. This is more for an online community that's trying to create narratives that simply don't exist.
Of course, it's not for the people in the room because the people in the room aren't journalists. They never ask you a question. They're simps for the Indiana Fever. They're simps for the NBA. They are all about the narrative as well, and they have never ever asked Stephanie White an actual question. It is wild after some of the things he did and the criticisms we had that Scott Agnes has turned out to be the guy, and that is why the Indiana Fever took away his credentials. Hey, Steph, in case you didn't notice, when you got booed at the beginning of the game last night, this is not an online community. Okay. You can try and disparage it and make it seem like it's about bots and weirdos, but this is the Indiana Fever fan base. This is the Caitlin Clark fan base, and they are pissed off with the way you have behaved. They are pissed off with how you've handled things with your team and your players, and rightfully so. And for you to not only not acknowledge that, but to go back at them and insult them.
Trying to create a fabrication or distortion of who I am, of what I'm about.
We
Our players'
know.
success, our players' health and wellness, our players' safety is always a top priority for me. One of the things I pride myself on is my relationships with players. For those
I'm sure. I'm sure you do that. I'm sure it's very interesting, the relationships you have with your players.
who have anything to say about the play in the last game, I didn't see the play in real time. I went straight to a press conference.
That is a lie. That is 100% a lie. Didn't see the play in real time, except here. Shout out to Sports for having this. That's Stephanie White staring directly at the play. Did she check on Sophie Cunningham after? No, she did not. She was worried about Dejanay. She was worried about Thug Mustard, but she did not check on Sophie Cunningham, who was bleeding, and she absolutely saw it in real time. And here would be the other question I would have for you, Stephanie White. If you didn't see it, why did you comment the way you did? If you didn't see it and you went straight to the press conference, why in the press conference would you be 10 toes down defending Dejanay Carrington for that play? Because you just told us just now that you didn't see it. Not only is your diatribe against the fans absolutely insane, you can't even get the basics right. You are clearly lying about what is going on. You didn't see the play, but you defended Thug Mustard instead of Sophie Cunningham, your player, Sophie Cunningham. The same way you didn't defend Caitlin Clark with the Alyssa Thomas situation, you defended Alyssa Thomas. By the way, you also attacked the Indiana Fever fans back then, too.
I thought the play got called right. Thankfully, Sophie's okay. Was it egregious? Absolutely. When you have a chance to watch that over and over and over on replay, you can see that.
I saw it in real time. I'm just saying. I saw as soon as it happened in real time, I didn't need a replay. I said, that's a flagrant two. Dejanay, that's a dirty play. Thug Mustard needs to be ejected. And you probably had the best, looking at those pictures again, you probably had the best view in the place. I mean, you're right there, my friend. You've got a great look live in real time at that play.
I didn't have that in real time.
You did, though. I just showed you the
I
pictures.
take personally any suggestions that I don't 100% always have my players back. I ride with them 10 toes down all the time.
What the hell does that even mean? By the way, you clearly don't. That is the whole point. You can't sit here and say you always have your players back when you are defending players on the team who are assaulting your players. Alyssa Thomas, flagrant 2, ejected after the fact, but they did finally get it right. Who did you defend? Alyssa Thomas. Dejanay Carrington, Thug Mustard, flagrant 2 against Sophie Cunningham, ejected. Who did you defend? Thug Mustard, Dejanay Carrington. Not a single word was said after that game in your statement about Sophie Cunningham.
All the time. They know that. It's a shame that we can't have an opportunity to talk about what great basketball they're playing.
It's your fault.
Because they are f***ing playing.
No thanks to you.
The reality is, with me, I will always lead with love. I will always lead with grace. I will always lead with humility.
You've noticed that about Stephanie, haven't you? The love, the grace, and the humility. You can hear it in her nails on a chalkboard voice. Humility? Has this woman ever once, since she's gotten the job in Indiana, ever taken responsibility for anything? This woman makes Christy Sides look like a Hall of Fame coach.
And I will always lead with integrity. Doesn't mean I'll always get it right.
You don't.
I'm also human. The hate, the fear-mongering, the divisiveness, the stuff that's trying to hijack our league will not win.
There we go, folks. We've gotten to the crux of it. Our league, the stuff trying to divide the league, and Stephanie White is 10 toes down for her league, which is why she's defending Mustard, which is why she's defending Thomas, because she is 100% brainwashed into being about the league the way it has always been before basketball fans got involved. You know, the woman who entered the WNBA married to a white man, got to the WNBA, and then divorced the white man and married the black woman at ESPN, by the way, for those who don't know. Been there for a long time, has a lot of power at ESPN.
It won't win. We are united. We are connected. We will not be divided. Every day these women put their on the line.
They're playing professional basketball and getting well paid. They're not headed to the jungles of Vietnam. They aren't in some trench in World War One. They aren't parachuting into Normandy with Easy Company. They're playing basketball. They're not putting much of anything on the line, actually. They are as privileged gets.
Every day. When they go low, we go high. Love will win. Grace will win. Humility will win. And kindness will win. I stand by them. I will always stand by them. Everybody else can go to hell.
Sorry, this is almost comical. This is like terrible acting. First of all, the paper to say any of this. Second of all these words I'm hearing, it's like someone said, let's get out our 50-cent word dictionary and just string a bunch of multi-syllable words together. And that's going to sound great. And then in that grating voice at the end, talk about how love and grace will win, how we're going to go high when they go low, and then tell them all to go to hell. By the way, the people you're telling to go to hell, they are the fan base that allow you to have this job. This is absolutely insane. It's like, hey, let's figure out everything we can do to make it all worse and then do that. These people in the WNBA are nuts. They're absolutely delusional. The hate and division, Stephanie White, it's not coming from the fans, the basketball fans. It's not coming from those on the outside who are new. It's coming from you. It's coming from inside the WNBA. It's coming from the old guard players and the old guard coaches. It's coming from the letter mob. The problem for all of you is that you have a whole lot of basketball fans now watching and they want basketball and they're calling out your absolute bullshit. And you do not like the heat. You do not like the scrutiny because you have never had it before. You've never had to have consequences of from your actions of dealing with actual sports fans. Now that audience has gotten huge. You've got 2.5 million people watching Caitlin Clark games, and they are not watching it for the old WNBA. They are watching it for the entertaining basketball. And now every single basketball criticism that you get, you want to describe it as hate, as this little online community who is trying to take our league from us, who's trying to divide us from our scissor work. Because you don't want any accountability for the fact that you're a terrible basketball coach. You are a terrible basketball coach, and every indication I get is that you're a terrible person as well. You wanted money, you wanted the attention. Well, I shouldn't say you wanted the attention, but to get the money, you needed the attention, right? To get the fame that you I don't know how you thought you were going to get all of that without getting actual basketball fans. And now that bright light, man, it is exposing all your crap. It's exposing all your insanity. It's exposing all your bullshit. And all you can think to do is say the legitimate criticism is hate. Welcome to professional sports. Welcome to professional sports, man. Absolutely nuts. And I will say this, and shout as a Philly guy, yeah, I'm gonna go there. Uh, it is not it has not been rare where I've seen a coach, Sixers, Flyers, Eagles, Phillies, under fire for the way a team is performing. Fans get loud, fans boo. We've got a whole major, you know, local media and sports talk radio, fans calling in, the people on who run the shows. It gets really nasty at times and it gets nonstop. Stephanie White hasn't seen a drop in the proverbial bucket when it comes to the kind of criticism she could get. Nick Sirianni came to Philly. He's been here 5 years, I think. 5 years? Playoffs every time. Two Super Bowls, Super Bowl victory. And I swear there have been people who have been demanding his firing since the day he got here, and it has never let up. Not once has Nick Sirianni gone out and attacked the Philadelphia Eagles fans and attacked them and called them an online community and talked about them being hateful and divisive and all this other stuff. No, he's actually praised them. He said, look, man, that's one of the deals when you go to an organization that has an incredible fan base, that has a passionate fan base that wants to win and demands excellence. I wouldn't have it any other way. That's what Nick Sirianni says, and I've called for his firing at times too. But I got to give him props for how he handles the fans when the fans get loud when things aren't going well. And come to think of it, I haven't heard any other coach when they're under fire really be much different. I've never heard any of them throw the fans under the bus. This is absolutely nuts that Stephanie White did this. This is performative. Obviously, she had her piece of paper. I mean, this was a bad acting performance, especially the end. I'm sure that was rehearsed. You're gonna pull out the we go high when they go low stuff when all you've done is go low, and then talk about love and grace and how all that's gonna win. And then you tell all your fans to go to hell. And yes, for those of you who are unsure, she is telling the Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever fans, she is telling you to go to hell. This woman has never taken responsibility for anything. If she wants respect, she needs to earn it, and she hasn't done so. She has to man up. She recently had 10 toes down for your team. You recently had two phenomenal opportunities to be 10 toes down for your team. To be this angry in defense of Caitlin Clark when Alyssa Thomas did what she did. You had the opportunity to be this angry in defense of Sophie Cunningham when Dejanay Thug Mustard Carrington did what she did. And you missed two of the greatest opportunities you could have as a coach to get fans on your side by going hardcore, actual 10 toes down for your own team. To the point where you could have gone as far as getting yourself suspended for a game and you would have gotten so much. Do you know what would be happening right now? You'd be getting cheered at the beginning. Well, you might have been suspended for this game, but you would the next game you were coaching, you would get nothing but thunderous applause from the Indiana Fever home fans. It ain't complicated, my sister. It ain't complicated. This is absolutely it's instead you don't do anything to defend your own players. You don't get angry about it. You lie now about how you didn't even see the Carrington play when it's obvious you did. You defend those assaulting your players, and now you're going to sit here and have the gall to say how you always defend your team? Bullshit. Bullshit. Stick up for Sophie Cunningham. Stick up for Caitlin Clark. Get thrown out of a game. Challenge a call. Do something that shows you give a crap about these players. Fight for your team for once, other than the opportunity to get a late night booty call with Kelsey Mitchell. You are the problem, Stephanie White, not the outsiders, not an online community, just you. By the way, why did this take so much time? Why did this take, what, 3 days and another game? Or, yeah, well, not quite another game. He did this before the game. This is a clearly pre-written, manufactured speech with a bunch of 50-cent words that you need to reference just to make sure you get all your little phrases in there. Which, again, if you are this worked up and this angry and this is real and sincere, you don't need to do that. You have been asked from day one about this because you never go to bat for Caitlin Clark. Every single time you talk about Caitlin Clark, you find something to criticize. You find something to be negative about. It doesn't matter how well she plays. It doesn't matter how good she is. You sometimes you don't even acknowledge her, right? In your post game, you get into the locker room, she has a insane night, and you don't even mention her, or you barely mention her. But then you light up when you get to talk about Aaliyah. You light up when you get to talk about Kelsey. Talking about Caitlin Clark is like pulling teeth, and it's obvious to everyone. You, my friend, are a terrible basketball coach, maybe even a worse human being. Holy crap! I'm sorry, I went so long. Guess we can look at a few of these because this thing got ratioed to hell. I don't know who the 3,100 likes came from, but 4,600 comments, 99% of them said, yeah, this ain't it. Every time Stephanie White flaps her gums, she's lying. This is a very ill advised statement she issued, piling on more lies. Blah, blah, keeps going. She didn't see that in real time. BS, got filmed to prove it. Not listening to this, but is she chastising fans again? Yes, yes, she is, Eric. Boo, Amber. Boo, Stephanie. Boo, Kelly. Y'all make for a terrible organization. I am not in control of my own actions. I have been infected with a nanobot parasite that saps my intelligence, accountability, honesty, and just all around decency. I was first infected when I joined this league as a player many years ago, and my fist is closed. I see the Darvo crew is working overtime with that prepared, non human, unrequited, divisive, and derisive statement. So the replay didn't replay on the big jumbotron. Fair coach Anderson. In case no one told you, this post got a bad ratio. She lies. She's a terrible coach. She fires Stephanie White. Much of the online hate and divisiveness trying to hijack the league is coming from inside the house. Go to hell is a striking touch from someone who leads with love, grace, and kindness. Mhm. Uh-huh, uh-huh. I didn't see the play in real time. Stephanie White, who has the greatest view of anyone. Person on the left, I always lead with love. Person on the right, everyone else can go to hell. 3 seconds apart. Wow. Um, your star player was sitting right next to you at that press conference. Guess what she thought of your comments? Yeah. And it goes on and on and on. All this passion and all this yelling should be what she does during press game conference, defending our team, opposed to days later. Have this much emotion when it comes to protecting Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and your team. Don't wait for the public outcry. Yeah, I mean, look, and it goes on and on and on, but I'm going to leave it there for now because this got really loud. I'm sure we'll be talking about this more than one occasion. Do me a quick favor, like, comment, subscribe. You all know the drill. I will talk to you later.